Yes. Good evening, good afternoon, good morning, and welcome back to the channel with me, Disco, coming at you live with another live beer reviews from in front of the cans and bottles here on the bar. I'm still blackly calling the Disco Arms. I'm in a little bit of a black mood as it happens now, as you may have seen if you're watching after the event. I'm glad there was at least one person that see it. But yeah, not messed up the intro, wasn't my fault. Messed up the start, wasn't my fault. Got into StreamYard and they've messed around with things and taken away a load of options that I had before to play media, and now I can't. So I had to do that on a share screen time kind of arrangement. I'm gonna have to get into it's like DJing or video DJing. I've got to press the buttons at the right time because I can't just play them off the thing, apart from the countdown for some reason. But there you go. That's it. StreamYard wants to charge me now for playing videos, which I've always been able to do. I mean, I suppose fair enough. I've been living off the back of their software for the last year and a half doing this madness, but they seem to think I'm making money out of it and want to charge me 40 odd quid a month. So that's not happening. So I'm going to have to find a way to do it. And I found that really late. So it means I can't play any of my other media, no beer number one. So I'm going to have to do that manually at some point. I haven't keyed them up, so I've got to go back and find them. So yeah, a bit of a grumble to start with, not good. But let's go straight into beer number one, please. Been in the fridge chilling all afternoon. A random lineup today, tenuously themed around black can art or black colours on the cans, or in two of the cases, black cans. And this first beer is from Dark Revolution, appropriate enough. Featured several times on the channel, in fact on the lives. I had a big box of their beers before Christmas. Now that's a little clue. Yes, before Christmas. That's how long these beers have been sitting around, and I think all of them come under that category. But yeah, this is called Beer O'Clock. I could have started with that. I put it as a title. It's Beer O'Clock, but somebody else has already got that. So I'm not really using it. But indeed, it is a Beer O'Clock, a 4.6% session IPA from Dark Revolution. That's getting the beers in early. And it was always, let's get the photo in early. Nice fluffy head on that. They call it a session IPA, but a 4.6%. It's quite high for a session IPA. Normally think a session beers at kind of sub 4. But never mind. They call it what they like, really, and they've called it Beer O'Clock. As I say, a term used frequently by other channels. Now, I know doing black cans is probably going to be the bane of my life for these photographs, but photographs I'm doing. Just about managed to get last week's up this afternoon. And photographing silver writing on black cans is not easy. And as I found last week, photographing any cans is not easy because it took ages to get some of the cans in focus last week. I'm really not pleased with some of the photos. So that vocation one, I've still left it up there actually. That vocation one was terribly out of focus last week. Bit disappointing. But it is what it is, and we just crack on, much like StreamYard numptiness. Yeah, that's not too bad. That's kind of in focus. There you go. So, yeah. Nice looking IPA, kind of darker than you'd expect. Looks very hazy on the camera. Can't see any carbonation racing up the glass, although just about see it there at the bottom. Nice fluffy pillowy head. I'm still thinking grapefruit. I haven't looked at the back of the can. Love the can artwork from Dark Revolution, despite it being difficult to photograph and being vertical beer names. As you know, I like it in a nice portrait fashion down the centre of the can, not having to turn it around and look like that and blah blah blah. But enough of my grumbles. That's been 3 grumbles already before we even started. Yeah, so enough grumbling. Let's get on with the beer. I hope everybody's had a great weekend, as always. Mine went really, really quickly, even though I was working far too hard for, 3 days over the weekend, plus the other three. It was a 6-day straight mission last week. I thought I was going to be working today. Managed to get a little bit of a favour off their own volition from Ealing Beer Festival, so I didn't actually have to drop any beers down today. They came and picked them up. More about that tomorrow, as I probably said last week. Ealing Beer Festival this week down in Walpole Park. Yeah, I'll talk more about that tomorrow. I've got a few beers lined up to talk about that. We'll have a little run through of the lineup and a few beers, hopefully, that will be on there. So I might go and try them down there in a couple of cases. But yeah, here we go. Dark Revolution Brewing called Beer O'Clock. Let's have a little sniff, see what we get. Okay. I'm getting sort of ice cream rather than grapefruit, which is good. Yeah, a little bit of fruitiness. There's more peach coming across. A bit of a blocked up nose once again today. If there are any comments, I can't see them. Do let me know if there's anybody out there. Unless StreamYard have taken comments away from me as well. There doesn't seem to be any. Well, I can see my comments anyway. But yeah, do let us know if you're out there. It makes everything so much easier. And let us know if you've got a beer on. Otherwise, I'll just keep rambling about this one. But yeah, feels good so far. Kind of peachiness rather than citrus. A bit more stone fruit. As I spoke last week about stone fruit kind of including grapefruit for me. Grapefruit covered peach stone. But yeah, this one, pretty good, this one. Let's get down the neck and see what we get on. Cheers all. Yeah, quite light, but juicy. A lot of grapefruit on the back end. Not sure about that. As a session IPA, it's fine. It's perfectly light. Might arguably be too cold. A little bit more grapefruit, fleshy grapefruit going on there. And consistency rather than flavour. A little bit of citrus there now, lemon coming through. It's kind of a little bit of sherbet lemon like. Touches of sherbet. Oh, there's a carbonation, more carbonated than I thought. I just moved that camera again. Yeah, I have. I nudged it, haven't I? Yeah. Yeah, technicalities. Yeah. Kind of soft and fairly creamy. I still can't quite pick out the fruit though. It feels like really light kind of pineapple, kind of like light peach. Very, very light on the grapefruit, but it is there kind of on the back end. Not masses of sweetness either. It feels more like a milk, kind of lactosey kind of sweetness, rather than fruit sweetness. There is a little bit, yeah, there's a little bit of tart kind of pineapple in there as well, fresh pineapple. Perfectly decent, good in the summer. Having been in the fridge all afternoon. Aha, there is somebody in. Henry, as always, thank you very much indeed. I was worrying I couldn't see any comments. I was just moaning about StreamYard trying to charge me for stuff, and I suddenly had a panic that they're charging me to see comments or put comments up, which is kind of the whole reason of being on StreamYard, really, so we can interact with people and put stuff up on there. But thank you for resetting my mind on that one. I say I can't play the media that I normally do. To do a different introduction, different style of it, but there you go. having gone to all the trouble of putting it together. Not that anybody notices anyway, normally. But yes, thank you as always, Henry420, popping in. Hope you got a beer on Monday night. As I say, I was off today in the end. I had a load of things I was planning to do. Like I say, I was going to go over to Eden and help set up. That never happened for various reasons this morning. And yeah, so I've had a kind of getting things sort of done today, an admin day. Not what you want on your day off, do you know what I mean? But we shall see what happens tomorrow. Getting more and more on the grapefruit with that one now. It's kind of building, and not enough pineapple to go with it to get lilt, but there's kind of little pips of fruit in there. Some kind of stone fruit, some kind of citrus, but a bit of lemon rind maybe. Have a look on the can in a sec. Just a standard Stella. Goes down smooth and wets the whistle, as they say. Indeed, yeah, fair enough. This one's certainly wetting the whistle because it's been in the fridge all day, so it's kind of fairly refreshing, but then there's that kind of slightly cloying now as well. It's not heavy on the grapefruit because it's called a session IPA, but a 4.6. That's pushing more towards IPA for me. I think session IPAs are kind of under 4 or around about 4. Could I session that? No, I don't think I'd want more than one. If it was the only beer on, then maybe I'd be all right. I think after the second one, I'd be reaching for the lemonade top. I'd get a bit more cloying, but for a beer that's sitting in my stash all day, the condition on that is superb. Bit of lacing on the glass and even layers. You see the layering on that indicates a well-conditioned beer. I mean, it's been kept in the stash all year. That head retention is staying around. Creamy, foamy head. So, clumsy disco. Don't know what you heard of that, but that was the microphone getting knocked over. Has to be there. I don't like it in shop. Can't stand those big microphones up here that some people have. So I put it down there underneath the thing, so hide it away. What was I saying? Oh yeah, I was going to look at the can. That's right. Maybe a bit Henry around to see that. That's fine. Screen wipe on your magnifying glass. Right. Okay. Yeah. So it says citrus, peach, and passion fruit. Passion fruit, I'm never sure about in a beer. But as I've said, it kind of goes alongside peach for that kind of stone fruit, woody kind of note with the pips. Oh dear. Right, so hops of Citra and Galaxy and hot side Idaho 7. So dry hopped Citra and Galaxy. Never one of my favourites, but to be fair, maybe that Idaho 7 is rounding it out a little bit. Citra and Galaxy are not two of my favourites. But yeah, not punchiness of grapefruit, not that kind of being smacked in the face with a grapefruit beanbag, as I said the other week about stuff. It's got that slightly cloying, slightly, grapefruit pith kind of bitterness. But it's not huge, it's not big, it's not clawing at my mouth, it's not making me wince. It's getting bigger as it goes down, but it is reasonably drinkable with that really good condition and juiciness, definitely juiciness. But there's a little bit of lemon rind in there as well to kind of balance it out, I guess. Best before 0425. Like I say, these have been sitting in my stash all year. I think I picked them up sometime before Christmas. I got a big box from them. Because they had a beer called Disco Juice. That was why I got the box from them. And I've been putting their beers in kind of vague themes ever since. I think I've still got one more to go, so I better get onto that one fairly quick. But generally, Quite pleased with what I've seen from Dark Revolution, the cans anyway. Each of them have been, I think, perfectly drinkable. Maybe none of them massively outstanding, but generally really easy drinking, fairly sessionable drinks. We had the Pilsner, we had the wit beer. I nearly did their wit beer last week, and then other events took over, and I've since found out that I've already done it. So I might do it again next Wednesday for Wit Beer Wednesday. Can't do it this Wednesday because I'll be at the beer festival. But and obviously to the end, I've probably had a look in their shop each time I've done these beers. But let's have another quick look, see if we can find anything different. Kiwi Crush probably has no kiwi. Double dry hop lager. Lime, lychee, and tropical. Yeah, Nelson Motueka lager. Why not? Probably be alright. It's not one I'd rush to, but I like the name. Where have I gone? There we go. Digital Bath, just like Mum. Bitter. Session IPA, Hazy IPA, Tropical Thunder. See, again, all really fairly standard and decent kind of can art. If you like your kind of darker, definitely very kind of metal looking. Hazy Pales, Fruit Sour. As I shop with names, this kind of interests me because they've got some fairly clear stuff, despite that vertical can wrap. But I kind of, if I see something that's going to Grumpy Joe, I won't tell you why that is. Oh, hello. Tangerine, black tea, and mojito. Again, Idaho 7 and Motueka. If I find anything, that would probably go on there, but I'm not sure that there's anything that's kind of stand out. It's all new. It's not something we've seen before. So they're rotating their lineup. Pretty good. To their own socks. Well, why not? Exit Plan, Love the Drug. Haven't redone Disco Juice. Can't go back to that one. Velveteen is their stout, which I wasn't massively impressed with, but Verve I've still got a can of. I don't think I ever did that one. That was the Pilsner. A good lineup. Not necessarily anything I'd like, I must go and get that. I still didn't get that Buxton order that I looked at the other week. What was Orbital? See, another Session Pale. Strata and Ruaka. Anyway, so a good web shop there. They're up in Salisbury, west of England, Wiltshire. So we like what they do. We've had some good stuff from them. Had some enjoyable beers. And this one, I tell you what, for a Citra Heavy IPA, it's not Citra Heavy. That's the thing. They say, when you, like I say, I always maraud against Citra because it comes up too much grapefruit, and I don't like that, as you know. But this one, they've managed to keep the Citra kind of in balance, very in balance with the other hops. I won't go so far to say I like it. I don't dislike it. Like I say, really good lacing, so really good conditioning and stuff like that. I kind of like it because it's not too much grapefruit. Talking of likes, hit the like button. It's free. So says Henry 420. As always, thanks for the promotion, Henry. Top stuff. Love what you do. Thanks for doing that, because I find it really difficult to say things like that. But if I'm reading out a comment, it makes it so much easier. Cheers, man. And actually, by the same token, go follow Henry and click like on his stuff too. A lot cooler here tonight, but I suppose we're further. Yeah, apparently, yeah. So you're standing out in the field on Wednesday for me for the beer festival, and Thursday and Friday. Got a bit of work to do on Wednesday first, doing a bit of driving. Big love. Exactly. Yeah. Cheers, man. No, thank you. Yeah, much cooler here as well. So I put these in the beers in the fridge this morning. This one might be a little bit too cold, if that's such a thing is possible. Makes it fairly easy drinking, despite being nominally 3 months out of date. Just proving those dates are fairly nominal on the side of certainly beer cans. When you've got good beer that's produced well by a company, by a brewery, that obviously cares about their product, despite putting quite a lot of stuff out and having a fairly heavy rotation. That looks like a good beer to me. So fair play to Dark Revolution for that. Produced a Citra beer I can at least drink. It still needs a little bit of lemonade for me to bring that citrus back to lemon. Preferred citrus in a beer, give or take with orange and I guess pineapple. But yeah, noticeably grapefruit, but not heavy. Now, so moving swiftly on. As I said at the start of the show, I can't do my usual beer number or whatever, so I'll just do it visually, manually. Beer number 2, please. Oh, yeah, it's more carbonated than it shows, that one. On to beer number 2. As you see, Mad Squirrel Brewing. A brewery up in Hemel Hempstead in Hertfordshire. One, again, featured on the channel, I would say many times. Had an order again before, round about the start of the year. If not before, again, a trouble. I'll have another moan. Instagram and indeed YouTube. Very difficult to actually search for specific things. I always thought if I'm on Instagram placing hashtags, then at least they would search the hashtags that I've used, but you can't search your own grid. So it makes it really difficult. Hey ho. In fact, I thought I'd done this one before. I did actually search down the grid and did find it that I hadn't done this one before because I only got one of them in. It's called Native, and it's a 4.8% Hellas Lager. Don't mind the Hellas, as I said last week. Had a Hellas Lager on the show. I find them not necessarily that much to talk about. I thought that wouldn't on a session IPA with that one from Dark Revolution, and there was plenty to note. So less sure about Hellas compared to a Pilsner, say, but maybe a bit more than a standard lager. Probably see that plenty of carbonation racing up the glass. Nice lagery looking colour there. It looks much lighter, lemony, straw coloured behind the camera. On camera there, it's a bit more orangey, I guess. Got a mad squirrel in the garden. I'm sure they're all pretty mad, especially this time of year. Finding food and busy burying their nuts or something like that. So, yeah. Fairly, I would say standard lager, but a lot of breweries do have their regular lager. Now, do excuse me, I've got no Mr. Wilson today to remind me to take the photograph, so I nearly forgot, and I normally put a thing up that says photo reminder, so I'm going to do that. If you're watching along and wondering where I'm going, just going to step off to the side, take the photograph so I can pop up the review on Instagram, hopefully tomorrow. Put it in a Fuller's glass, closest brewery to. I've got a glass for it anyway. Probably slightly easier ones because much more matte coloured cans. Although there's still a bit of light going onto it. See if that one's actually anywhere near in focus. Yeah, so right. I can read that. What about you? Yeah, that seems in focus to me. So, yeah, so a Hellas Lager, German style. Looks good. Not so much on the head retention from this one compared to the last one, anyway. Cheers and enjoy the beers. That fairly standard kind of light malty kind of note. See what we get on the taste. Cheers. Yeah, pretty spot on for the style, really. Kind of slightly bready, malty kind of background. Feels like a little bit of honey coming through, plus a little bit of kind of slightly savoury, kind of herby edge. All pretty well balanced. Say quite heavy on the carbonation, but maybe expect that on a lager. Not too much on the lemon, a little bit of vague lemon background. And that's kind of, I do try not to do too much in the way of lagers unless it's got some kind of adjunct or something slightly different. But a straight Hellas lager, even sometimes Pilsners, or just a straight British lager, I always try to kind of avoid because I sort of run out of descriptors, adjectives, generally things to say. I tell it like it is when I drink beers. I just sort of, well, that's why I drink this way, why I review this way as well. I review like I drink a beer. So if I was having this in a pub or whatever, I'm having a pint of it. I'm not getting a little taster. Other people do tasters. That's fine. I've got no problem with that. That's how other people do it. I sort of do it the way I drink beers. If I was in a pub or out and about, I put it all in a glass. Some people say you should have a little taste of it and like that just to get the feel of it. But I taste from the off. I chuck it all in a glass and just say the flavours I'll get. Sometimes there's a little bit of poetry going on or a little bit of assimilation or something like that. Greetings, not tonight, honey. Thanks for popping in. I'm all right, although a bit moany, a bit dark, but generally okay. I've got beer, so it's all right. I've got company as well. I hope you guys are great and you've got an enjoyable beer alongside. No worries if you haven't. It's a Monday after all. Not everybody drinks on a Monday. So I'm only doing it because I haven't really got to get up in the morning. I should do, but I can't for various reasons. I should go and actually do something useful, but I'm going to not. This is my weekend. Yes, I'm going to have a lie-in again, probably. I don't know. And then I'm going to think about beer tomorrow night. Yeah, say put a stream up on tomorrow night. We'll have a little look at the Ealing Beer Festival lineup. You can people can tell me what I should be drinking, what they want me to see in review. Haven't quite worked out my media for tomorrow for the beer festival. Whether I'm going to do a live like I did at Czech Embassy last year, whether I do a little walk around, whether I'll try and do some videos. Haven't got my cameras sorted out. I was going to do another like vlogging style camera. Never got that sorted out, so we'll have a look at that tomorrow, see if I can get that done. But yeah, we shall see. Might do. I say again, time for video editing is very limited. Even though I've had all day today, I still never got around to it. Doing various other things, real life and shit. So we shall see. We shall see. But yeah, do let us know what you're drinking. If you got some beers in, let us know what your thoughts are on these beers. If you've had them before, love a bit of chat and interaction. On this channel, it's all about the beer, not about me, even though I do keep putting stuff in about what I'm doing, because it's vaguely beer related. It's all beer related. Yeah, try it. I do content on a Monday and Tuesday because I don't often get the chance on the weekend because I'm at the brewery working. Although I did do one on Friday, did a little short, kind of amused me. Got a couple of 100 views. I was quite pleased with that. I don't get that many views, but I keep doing it because it's fun. It's fun. Got a little counter up there. It says I've got 125 people in. Never understand how that works. So do say hello if you're in. That'd be lovely. And let us know what you're drinking. Because it's a Hellas lager and I've run out of things to say. It's just a perfectly decent Hellas lager. Again, I think I'm probably doing it a little bit of a disservice because, again, it's sat in my stash all bloody year because I've never quite got round to it. See what it can say. Right, well, it says on the can anyway, a long way from Munich, our German brewers have taken inspiration from their homeland to produce this true-to-style Helles. Golden, full-bodied and malty with a delicate hop bite. Germany has a rich brewing heritage, and this is the Mad Squirrel take on a native taste. Hops are Hercules and Tradition. Maybe less well known, slightly unusual. Expect maybe some Hallertau or something like that in there. But I didn't know the brewers were a German at Mad Squirrel. Best before 26th of the 4th, 25. So, 2 beers, a few months out of date, but what can you do? You know, what can you do? Still perfectly reasonable. It's a lager. You'd probably think they last a bit longer because, you know, lager means storage. So I've stored them for maybe 6 months more than I should do, but what can you do? What can you do? Yeah, but all those notes, exactly what I said, really. And as usual, you have to believe me, I haven't read the notes on the back of the can, certainly not for a while, certainly not today, because it's sat in my stash for a while. But yeah, it's kind of light, bready, kind of maltiness. Not heavy on the hops, but there's a little kind of slightly savoury kind of note, a little bit of honey maybe. A lot of people say brioche, I'm not sure about that here. But yeah, a perfectly decent lager. It's not one I'd kind of be smashing down, but you could, you know. It's been in the fridge all day, so nice cold summer refreshing pint. As always, I haven't looked at Mad Squirrel's website for a while, and I forgot to queue it up. So let's have a look, see if there's anything I can find. I did see them actually on Instagram the other day. Got a new beer out. Something quite interesting. I never quite got around to looking at it. There we go. Mad Squirrel, like I say, I put in Hertfordshire, but they've got 6 or is it 7? In fact, it might even be more now. Tap rooms all across Hertfordshire and Buckinghamshire. I intend to visit at some point, but they've now opened a couple more further north. So I always fancy doing a day of going around all of them, but they've made it harder. Let's have a look at the beer. Again, love the logos. That's their core range stuff. I love, again, fairly simple, although kind of quite snazzy on the artwork. Bold, striking colours, beer name, logo, brewery name and beer type, etc. on the front, and some quite snazzy kind of design work and colours. Sumo, the American Pale Ale, was a massive favourite for lockdown anyway. See that on the pumps. I'd usually have a pint. This one I don't think is a core range. I've got that Zealous Pilsner Lager in. Oh yeah, that was the new one I saw the other day. Rhubarb and Custard Crumble Pale. And having done those Turning Point custard beers earlier in the year, I probably should get this and excuse me, fly, fruit fly. Oh, hey, that's my beer. Yeah, probably should give this a spin because it kind of looks good. Like I say, it looks a bit more like Battenberg cake than rhubarb and crumble, but the colours are all right. You know, nearly a £5, but what do you expect? Yeah, some of their pale ales I'm sort of less bothered about necessarily. They do like bung in a few hops at stuff. Sabro Pale Ale there, the Crazy Days. Love the can colours, but New England IPA, I can't necessarily find too much about that. Is that a collab? I think that's a Watford. not an actual collab with Watford FC. It's a mental health charity in Watford. Oops, where's that gone? Oh, yeah. Okay. I was talking about foggy IPAs a while back. They've got a range of foggy IPAs. I wasn't massively fussed on the ones I had. They were okay. So it's not something I'll be diving in because they all say New England. A big bottle of Bourbon Imperial Stout and a double X double IPA. I keep looking at that. I probably should. I didn't say the hop line up on that, so I've always not been too sure. For £7, 7.4% double IPA. If I see it around, I might pick it up. It's not something I could necessarily dive into. I've only got a range of mini kegs, but don't necessarily need 8 pints. Yeah, look at the tap rooms. Amish and Berkhamsted Cricket Club, that's a new one. The brewery tap room is Hemel Hempstead, Chesham, High Wycombe, St Albans and Watford. What's Crazy Goat? Leverstock Green Village. That one is hard to get to, I imagine. Somewhere outside of Hemel Hempstead. So, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Craft beer cruisers. Is that a boat? Stop and pour solution to bringing Rasko beer to the best events throughout. Oh, that's their van, isn't it? Yeah, I've seen that at festivals. Greetings, nice. Yes, thank you very much indeed. Thanks for popping in to the Disco Arms as I ramble on about beer. See, I can do that. I don't generally down beers, but that one, it's cold. It's nice and easy drinking. It's got some good balance to it. A little bit more lacing down the bottom of the glass. There was that kind of slightly herby, savoury edge. What I describe as a little bit rough around the edges, but perfectly drinkable summer beer in the German style. Excuse me, try not to sniff. When it gets cooler, your nose blocks up a bit. I've been alright for the last few weeks in the heat. Haven't really struggled with that, but it's different today. Right, yeah, I'm going to knock that back. I won't take up too much of your time today, I think. Although I have got a big finish, which I hope's going to be okay, because this one's been sitting in my last one's been sitting in my stash a little bit too long as well. But that's what I do. Kind of well known. And there's nobody who would normally take the mickey out of me drinking out of date beers. Normally, out of date, as I always say. A shark when you need it. Yeah, perfectly decent. Mad Squirrel Brewery. Native 4.8% Hellas lager. I always think there's a Hellas as kind of over 5, but yeah, 0.2 of an ABV. Who's going to know? Perfectly drinkable. All those outlier flavours. So yeah, I'm going to neck this down and get on to the next one. Cheers. Yeah, 2 perfectly palatable beers there. Easy drinking. Neck them down fairly quick. Always drink responsibly. I don't normally neck stuff that quickly, but that's nice and drinkable. You know, chatting away. Yeah, what palate cleanser. Beer number 3, please. Now, this one I'm not sure about. When I first bought it, I'm like, oh, great. And around about the time, I done it again. It didn't save, I swear. Right, so what it is Alter Ego Brewing. I'm going to do it as I type it, just for the banner, just to keep it up, because it's kind of what I do. Alter Ego Brewing. They were up in Nottinghamshire, or was it Derbyshire? No, I think it's Derbyshire. It's called Stockholm Syndrome. Let's see if I can spell properly. Yep, and it is 10% ABV. Imperial Stout. So, and about that time that I bought it, and I say it's been in my stash for over a year now. It's a 10%. Should be okay. It's the sort of beer that I used to buy a lot because I think, oh, love a stout, love a big stout. And then I kind of found them the same as I'd say about lager. Not uninteresting, but not much the muchness, but had much the same tasting notes. I'm expecting chocolate, coffee, a little bit of kind of spirity, barrel agey kind of edge. And since then, bear in mind, this must be late 23. I bought this off the back of buying Raggy's beer, the Ragnify. And I'm sure I've still got one of those somewhere. Haven't seen it for a while. I think it's gone to the back of the stash. But yeah, I bought it then, and I sort of never quite, having just mentioned Shark, pops in earlier to talk about drinking out of date beers. Mr. Wilson says photo and other bollocks. Cheers, Shark. Yeah, absolute legend. Legend. Right, so let's get this in a glass. 10% Imperial Stout for a Monday night, because I don't have to get up in the morning unless I want to. And we'll see what happens then. Say, not sure the date of this one. I haven't looked, as always, at the can. Let's get it in the glass, do the tasting, and see where we get from there. So, glugs into the glass, fairly oily, thick, although there is a little tinge through it of Coca-Cola. Quite a bubbly head. I wouldn't say that's necessarily smooth. Sometimes, when you get beers like this that have been sitting there for a while, so I don't know what the date on that is, but they go a bit frothy, a bit carved. This one hasn't. It's poured into the glass, nice. And do you know what? I've still forgotten, mainly because Mr. Wilson isn't here to remind me, forgot to do the can balance that I was talking about last week. I don't know if it's going to look any good, but I want to try it, but I keep forgetting. So as Shark has reminded me, the photograph. Yeah, sorry, Shark, you're too late to remind me to do the can balance. So dip the laptop to get the light reflecting on a hard enough to photo can as it is. There's one photographing a stout with all the reflections and stuff. Should be alright though. Yeah, that'll be alright. First time, vaguely in focus. But as I do the photo, some beers kind of dissipates that head, but it's sticking around. Nice tan coloured head. Didn't get the logo on the glass, but never mind. Talking of which, Mr. Wilson, greetings. Hope you're doing alright. I had a great Monday and got a beer on. Alright, my beer also, greetings. Thanks for popping in. Assuming it's Paul. Or any other of the team over at Rate My Beer, who had a stream on tonight as well. Good to see you popping in, thank you, and I hope you're doing all right. David, don't blame me if you didn't do all the photos and all the other. I did the photos. I've done the banners. Just about remembered 90 odd shows in to do it all myself. Doesn't mean I won't need reminders going forward, because you know what my brain's like. Let's move up there, but give me a bit of space. Yeah, so 10% Imperial Stout called Stockholm Syndrome. Well, I was going to say, but yeah, no, it's not compulsory to watch live, but yeah, thanks for popping in. You know what? Its nose, it's gone a bit. Yeah, it's dropped a couple of degrees, and the nose is blocked up. Anyway, so 10% Imperial Stout to finish. Don't think I'm going to smell anything. Don't know. There's a little bit of chocolate there. Oh, hello. A little bit of chocolate there, but there's also a little bit of that barrel aged spirit edge I was talking about. Oh. Yep, not blowing my nose on camera. Save that for OnlyFans. No, I'm joking. Yeah, no idea how the algorithm works, so I don't bother trying to understand it anymore. I just do my thing, and yeah, all the other bollocks, as Shark says, is talking about beer. If it's quiet, it's quiet. The show must go on. Just a bit of famous grouse. Been to the cinema. Fair play. I haven't been to the cinema for a long, long time. Haven't seen that many films in a long, long time. Yeah, I've enjoyed the film. I wonder if that chocolate I had before the stream was a mistake now. Tastes a little bit of salinity. I don't think it's from the beer. No idea what that emoji is. It's I think it's a wave, isn't it? Hello, Zara. Thanks for popping in. Hope you're doing all right. Especially if you love beer and you don't mind watching me waffle on about a 10% Imperial Stout. Cheers. Let's have a look. Yeah, so a little bit of chocolateness on those, a little bit of chocolate liqueur going on there. Yeah. Cheers. Let's dive in. Ooh. First things first, I didn't put this in the fridge this afternoon, unlike the lighter beers, because I didn't think it warranted it. It is a little bit warmer in the beer stash this week. But for a stout, that could have done with being a bit cooler. Now, I don't know whether it's that I had some pistachio chocolate before the stream. I'm still getting a little bit of salinity, but that feels like a big kind of licoricey kind of chocolate. A lot of savouriness. Again, maybe bouncing off the savouriness off the back end of the Helles there. Oh, hey. Typical Plymouth fan just waffling. We have to do what you have to do, do you know what I mean? Show must go on and all that. I mean, that's a brave comment, but I think we're all guilty of that, my friend, are we not? Everyone on YouTube is guilty of a bit of waffle. I even put it as a hashtag. Hashtag beer waffle. Because it is, isn't it? Unless the beer's actually got waffles in. Oh, waffle beer. Love waffle beer. Yeah, this is weird. I don't know whether or not it's because it's been sitting in my stash a while, or because it's slightly warmer. Oh, because it's kind of, there's still some back end residue of that pistachio chocolate, but it feels like a bit of salinity, a bit of kind of salted licorice going on. I don't think we've got any Aussies in, not yet. Anyway, please like and subscribe. There's a button specifically for that. It's about there somewhere. There it is. Yeah. Oh, there's the like one as well. I don't know, somewhere there, isn't it? Lasagna and peas. Nice. I had, I had some pasta. What's it called? Can't remember. Doesn't matter. Talking about beer, not food, but let me know what you're eating. Yeah, so it looks good. Nice and dark. Kind of tan head. Dissipating slightly now, but it's still there across the top. Ravioli. That's what I had. Anyway, yeah, nice. There's not so much on the spirit yet. It's kind of yeah, it's definitely kind of licoricey, a bit treacly. It does feel like there's a bit of dropout, having sat in my stash. Having sat in my stash for must be over a year, definitely over a year. I'm fairly sure it was early last year, if not the year before. So I got it when off the back of it was early last year. Raggy's was it walnut stout? Seems to have covered it up. Does anybody remember this one? Eminent beer review for Nottingham, Raggy. Chocolate walnut milk stout. Really nice one, that one. Oops. Clumsy disco. Wouldn't be a disco stream without something falling over, collapsing, or just not working. So let's just ignore that and carry on. ABV is 10%, as says on the banner. Thanks for watching. No. Yeah, 10% ABV. It doesn't matter it's sat in the stash because it's 10%. 10% ABVs you think is going to last a bit longer than all the others. Liberty Europe, thank you. Oh yeah, so Sicilian style. Yeah, blooper moment. Gravity is a pain and we should all be floating around. Well, yeah, apart from that, sticking to the Earth, gravity. I get fucked over by gravity and physics on a daily bleeding basis. Yeah, Sicilian style pasta. Yeah, I wouldn't know. I say ravioli. Right, let's see what it says on the can. Alter Ego Brewing. Embrace your alter ego. Well, mine's disco. We brew great beer for superheroes like you. Be kind. Be good. Great words. Great words. Alfreton, Derbyshire. Straight up Imperial Stout. No adjuncts, no flavouring, no messing. Well, you're not wrong. I don't know. No adjuncts. It's got oats in it. Isn't oats an adjunct? Let me know in the comments. No, it's probably not. Oh, here we go. Yeah, Shark, this one for you. Can't show it. Best before the 10th of May. Oh. The best before 10th of May 2024. So I think I bought it in 2023. Still perfectly drinkable, I find. I wonder when it was brewed. Doesn't say. So yeah, 10% stouts can sit around for a bit. They're perfectly fine. I've got Imperial stouts in the cupboard that are best before 2026 and 2030. I think this one is probably less malt heavy. So I don't know. I can't remember what it is that makes an Imperial Stout a 10-year best before. But I've had several way past the date, and it's never really a problem. I think it's kind of noticeably maybe less fresh. There's less chocolate, less coffee, less bourbon biscuity. Depends what the malts are, really. I say there's a kind of spirity edge to it, a little bit of whiskey going on, whiskey barrel kind of thing. I know, fair play, mate, man, Justin. Like, as you. David Wilson mustache is mostly over 10%, except for the Fuller's vintages. Jimmy, greetings. Thanks for popping. I hope you're doing all right. Hope you're doing okay. Have some Beer Mongol 2030 beers made to be drunk in 2030. Who knows? Who knows what's going to happen by then? Not really stronger. Certainly not in ABV, unless there's any secondary fermentation going on, which shouldn't happen. I don't think it's stronger in ABV or even stronger in flavour. It's sort of, if anything, the flavour kind of deteriorates or at least changes, maybe mellows. I would expect in 2023 that this would be more coffee heavy, probably a bit more chocolate. There is a little bit of bourbon biscuit going on there, but I expect that would be stronger. There's also a little bit of kind of cigar-y kind of tobacco going on. Not much in the way of smokiness. I could say that kind of whiskey barrel thing is kind of there. Sorry, excuse me. And because all those kind of flavours are there, it doesn't really go off because it's in a sealed container, so there's no like oxidization or anything that happens before it goes in. But it's just sort of, there will be a slight deterioration in the flavours. It's good. It's a nice beer. I think it would have been better if I'd got to it at least last year. It was one of those, like, I don't know, when I started doing the lives last year, it's been over a year now, I went nearly up to 100 shows. I like to try and balance it. I like to try and move up the scale and finish on a stout, but I never really kind of find a time to put a 10% in. I should do it more often on a Monday. Say if I haven't got a gap in the morning, it doesn't matter. But I've always got something to do on a Tuesday. But yeah, I wasn't going to drink today, but I slept throughout Sunday, so I thought, drink today. Why not? I slept a large amount in the morning, having worked all day yesterday. In fact, all weekend. So yeah, why not, man? It's kind of it's my weekend, but drink whenever you like or not. It doesn't matter. I'm fine. I'm drinking in case anybody else can't really tonight. It's also why I'm finishing on a 10% stout. But also, I've got several other high ABV stouts like Mr. Wilson. You sort of collect them and you buy them and you think, I'll find a time to get around to it. I'll find a reason for that. If you're not drinking them every day, then it's fine, but it is sometimes difficult to squeeze them in. There's a slight nuttiness as well now alongside that licorishness. It's a kind of a bit rough, but it's a really deep, smooth centre. I wish I hadn't left this one so long. I think it would have been stronger flavours, more rounded, and more interesting. This one's a little bit harder, but I've got all night, so it's going to be a slow, long sipper of a beer. Having had several really good stouts, and they're still up there. That one last week was 9.5, but that was proper smooth and chocolatey. That one from Pomona Island, my nan's gonna love her circular saw, was 7 or 8, and that was proper smooth and chocolatey. But they were kind of fresh. I only bought them this year, so this one, I think I might have done a little bit of disservice to Alter Ego. Let's have a quick look at them, shall we? Because I haven't looked at their website. Really, since I got the beers, I follow them on Instagram. I haven't noticed them bring out much else. Alfreton from, which I always think is Nottinghamshire, but it's Nottinghamshire, Derbyshire borders. Let's have a look, see what they got on. Yes, I am 18. So yeah, they've got this kind of slightly cartoony artwork. Goes straight into the online shop. I love that beer name, Be More Pacific, but I guess it's just a lot of Pacific hops, and it's a New England, so it's not one. I'm sure I've seen that before, not one I've ever tried. Again, Strata, yeah. Clickbait, great name. West Coast IPA, cold IPA. I'm still not sure what a cold IPA is. I know what a raw IPA is when you don't boil it, you get up to 80 degrees. I think that's same as a cold IPA. Forcefield Hazy Pale Ale, Disappear completely West Coast. So they're thereabouts doing all the kind of stuff. I think I tried the Often, that Fest beer in that order. Oh, hang on. No, I tried the Helles, the Often Helles, not the Often Fest beer. Again, Fest beer, I find not a lot to talk about, but I will always try them. It's always going to be a good beer. Put it in your mouth. Okay, I'll put this in my mouth. It's quite a tasty saison, as I remember it. Robots in Your Brain, double IPA. I would try that if I was buying something again, because I've started getting into trying dippers, even at that ABV and that price. But Kvik yeast. I did start collecting Kvik yeast beers as well. With everyone's favourite, it's not my favourite alter ego. Everyone's favourite Citra. Well, as we found tonight, I found a beer that's not in my top 10 of Citra beers, but reasonably drinkable. Do you think do I have a top 10 of Citra beers? I certainly have 4 or 5 that are perfectly palatable. I wouldn't say I necessarily get to a top 10. Oh, hello. Oh, hello. Small fire. Marshmallow milk stout. Yes, please. Fair play. Thank you very much. Now I'm talking. We're on safer ground there. Ooh, it is a smoked s'mores beer, smoked malt to bring the fire and provide some balance and complexity to sweet marshmallow. Interesting. I haven't bought any beers for a few weeks now. I'm trying to kind of cut down and get through the stash, hence doing some slightly older beers. Yeah, it sounded all right, but understand, Mick? Fair play. Henry was on the Stella, so I'd love to drink the good stuff, but it's too expensive nowadays. Yeah, 10-pack of San Miguel is 15 quid. Yeah, no, fair play. Horses for courses. I always take the mick, but I never, not in, it's all in jest, you know what I mean? It's like you drink what you want to drink, to be fair. I try not to, apart from Beer Mongrel that I have a vague problem with, and several other breweries, and all the mainstream beers that I have a problem with, but yes, no, don't buy any more beer. You don't need any more beer. I'm buying enough beer this week, but I'm drinking it straight away, so it'll be okay. I like Alter Ego. I like the kind of cartoony nature of the artwork, and some of the beers I had were pretty good. I think this is a good beer. It's kind of it's going down slowly, even though I think it's lost a little bit, even for a 10%. So I thought that said "Don't leave me ashtray," but it's not. It's "Don't leave me astray." Yes, don't buy any more beers. You got plenty of beers this week. But also, if you want to buy beers, buy beers. Don't listen to me. It's not my fault. Can't blame me. Yeah, bit of cigar, kind of leathery, tanniny kind of bitterness in there. Little bit of chocolate, a little bit of bitter chocolate. 2 beer festivals this month. Yeah, get enough beers in. Just the one for me. Yeah, but still a lot of beers this month. Yeah, so a nice deep dark stout. I feel it's lost a little bit of that 10%. It's more kind of, so it's going a little bit towards Marmite, oddly. I said about a beer the other week, didn't I? What was that beer? Yeah, it's got that kind of slightly savoury kind of salinity to it. Like I said, licorice at the start. I have to be careful when I do the write-up for this one because in this review, I'm bearing in mind that it's a year out of date. Did I say a year? It was more. What did I say the date was? Yeah, 10th of the 5th, 24. So it's a year out of date. As I say, the date is nominal. It's still perfectly drinkable. I say it's not gone off or mouldy or any of that shit. The head retention is kind of staying around on top of the beer. A little bit of alcohol legs on the glass there. It's 10%. Like I say, it's got that kind of, doesn't say what the malts are. It feels like there's a little bit of like, not quite Bamberg malt, but there's something in there that gives it a kind of savoury kind of, maybe it's just a bit top heavy on the black malt. I don't know. Lots of hearts on there. Oh, hang on. Yeah, don't know if you picked that up, but there's lots of hearts and pink fairy handcuffs. So I don't know. Maybe this was something for Valentine's Day or something. I don't know. But yeah, quite funky artwork. It's easy to miss on first viewing. It is for me. Pink fluffy handcuffs and hearts. Well, that's certainly certainly an image to end on, isn't it? I'm going to sit back and just chug through the rest of this. I think. See, Jimmy, we don't agree on a lot of things. We agree on many things, but we're not going to agree on London Pride. It's not always brilliant. That's why I don't like it. I think I had far too many bad pints of it. Depends on the pub. Absolutely. No. See, I was about to agree with you on Pride. I concede to you on Pride, but then you put Doom Bar in the mix. I stood in Waitrose the other day and looked at 4 beers, and 2 of them were Pride and Doom Bar. And I thought, because we had this conversation with Rob from Mr. B, do I do the video of my top 5 hated beers? Top 5 all-time hated beers, and they're all still available in bottle, I think. Haven't seen Spitfire for a while, so I might struggle with that one. But Doom Bar and Pride are in my top 5 list of all-time disliked beers. I see Doom Bar's had a makeover recently. They've changed the pumps. So yeah, maybe do them in bottles first here, and then it might take a trip out to find them on cask or they keg these days. I've no idea. But yeah, that's something for after the summer. Probably I won't have time for the summer. Got enough beer video ideas as it is. But yeah, see now I say fair play, drink what you want, but there are some beers that just get my goat. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, this one, it's not as fresh as it could have been, even for a 10%. So I wish I'd drunk it even this time last year. I think it would have been a bit more top notes of chocolate and coffee in there, bourbon biscuits. Kind of a bit more faint now, and I'm not sure about that kind of savoury note, that licoricey note. But that's my fault. That's my problem for getting too many beers in the stash and not getting around to drinking them. Some people just buy beers and drink them for the weekend, forget about them, and just do the occasional review. I sort of sat there and looked at this beer and thought, I like that. I want to talk about it. And I just ran out of time. So I chucked it into the mix now because it's got a black can wrap, mostly. and that was, I said Back to Black, even though I don't think I've ever done a black themed beer lineup before. I like doing this. These things amuse me. I like to put things into themes and context and stuff like that. But yeah, there we go. So that was Monday Club for this Monday. I will chuck something together for Tuesday Tipple. We'll talk about Ealing Beer Festival and some beers on there. I believe London Pride is there actually as well. So we'll talk about that tomorrow night. In the meantime, thanks everybody for popping in and sharing your beers and your thoughts. If you're watching after the event, chuck those thoughts down in the comments below whilst you're clicking like and subscribe and all that jazz. As Henry420 says. Cheers, Mr. Wilson. We'll see you tomorrow or later on in the week. Hopefully, if you're joining me at Ealing, I'm going to try and be there Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. So do let me know. We'll pop along for a beer. I think Mr. Wilson said he was Friday, but we'll talk more about that tomorrow. In the meantime, I'm not quite sure how I'm doing the outro. Bear with me a second. Yeah, not sure how I'm doing the outro because I forgot to line it up. I didn't get time, but because, as I said at the start, StreamYard has messed up the thing. They want to charge me. They want to charge me for playing my own videos. I've gone to the trouble of doing it now. I've just worked out how I can do the outro. Friday for midday, I may or may not get there at midday. I'm going to try. I'm not sure I need to be there at midday. That would require 10 hours of drinking. I might get there a bit later than that, but it's okay because I can leave at 10 and cycle home. But I said you can't. But yeah, at some point on Friday, that's fine. So thanks for popping in. Thanks for all your comments. And if you're watching after the event, please do click like and subscribe. Beard hair in the mouth. Weird. Interesting set of beers. Interesting lineup today, all in black cans. That's getting a bit more liquidity and a bit more spirity now. So yeah, thanks to everybody. Cheers. I've been Disco. This has been another live beer review stream from here in front of the cans and bottles. Half of them are fallen over from the Disco arms. Gonna cue up the outro. Where's it gone? Is that it? Oh, what's going on? Yeah. Cheers, everybody. Have a good one. See you soon.